Hey, good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to Patriot, Unchained Patriot. I'm your host, Tim Davis, aka Professor X. It's one man, one opinion, trying to make sense of it all in this bizarre world and trying to free one American enslaved mind at a time. It is Sunday, May 7th, 2023, and welcome to my show. Welcome to my show. It's been a while since I did a show. It's been a couple weeks. Unfortunately, due to work and hours and time spent at work, I can't put forth shows like I normally did in my past and previous show, Patriot Nation TV. But we're here today to discuss current events. And one of the things that happened on May 1st, 2023, I'm going to call it Tragedy in New York City. It's what's on all over social media like talking heads, talking pundits, social media lawyers, social media activists, advocates, and so on and so on. So I'm going to put my 2 cents in. And I'm going to try to simplify the complex. I'm going to try to keep your eyes on the ball. Hopefully I can guide you in the right direction, not to fall for the devices, the division of divide and conquer, that tactic that they're going to use on us, the narrative of racism and so on and so on and so on. So let's get started. The tragedy in New York City, the state that I live in, New Yorkistan, in the city of New York, which I don't live in. I live in the state of New Yorkistan, but it's the city that I work in. And, spent 28 years of my life in working and what's going on down there. So let me start off by saying this. Jordan Neely, rest in peace. It's sad the system failed you. You didn't get the help you received. And rest in peace, sir. Sorry it happened to you. So what's going on, what I'm talking about is on May 1st, 2023, there was a mentally ill patient person who was on the streets of New York City, multiple arrests, a repeat offender of assaults, harassment, etc., by the name of Jordan Neely. And he met his fate. On May 1st, 2023. And as I was saying, the media is portraying it as racism. I just want to let people know it has nothing to do with racism. And I hope New York City and New Yorkistan residents don't rush into destroying and looting and robbing and lighting things on fire like they did under George Floyd due to false information being spread by propaganda media, government-controlled CIA media, I should say. And once again, I'll repeat it. It's a tragedy, and may you rest in peace. And so let's get to it. I'm sure you all heard the talking heads, the bigwigs on podcasts, social media, news, mainstream media talking about it. Millions of followers and so on and so on. But they're avoiding the simplest. So that's why I simplify the complex. Just one man, one opinion. Trying to free one enslaved American mind at a time. So if you're new to the show, please hit like, hit subscribe. I'm going to publish another show tonight, later on, probably like 9, 10 o'clock. You'll want to see that one. It's going to be a good show. It's about the end times prophecies, the Antichrist, and stuff like that. But let's stay on topic to what we're talking about today, right now, this show. A former Marine, a trained Marine, has been identified as a person who subdued and restrained a mentally ill patient, criminal mentally ill patient by the name of Jordan Neely on the F train in Manhattan with a chokehold which ended his life at a New York City hospital. So we're hearing stories left and right, what to blame, murder, not murder, homicide, manslaughter, yada, 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 yada. Bottom line is, it's neither right. It's none of them. It's none of the above. It's none of the above. We're going to talk about who's responsible for this tragedy and why it happened. But first, let me say this. The system is failing everyone. It's failing all the citizens, the free people of this country, the free people of New York. And they're leaving it in the hands. They're failing the police forces. They're failing everybody, especially the citizens. We, the people, they're failing us. So they're leaving it where it's inevitable, where we have no choice but to protect ourselves and our fellow Americans. And this is going to bring me to who's responsible. Think about it. They can say racism. They can say this, that, yada, 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 so forth and so forth and so on and so on. But the bottom line is, who is responsible? Who's responsible for this tragedy? I'm going to tell you who's responsible for this tragedy. It's the court system. It's the mental health system. It's the family who hired a lawyer to cash in on this situation. And ultimately, it's the dead guy who unfortunately had mental health issues. That's who's responsible. I'm going to tell you this, who is not responsible, though, is the Marine. The Marine, Daniel Penny. He's not responsible. I do not believe this was done on purpose. I do not believe this is a racist thing. What I believe is, and what everybody else should believe with, based on the evidence that's been given to us at this point, is he was attempting to defend people who were being threatened. That is what I believe, and that is who I believe is not responsible for this tragedy. But piggybacking off of who was responsible, like I said, it's the court systems, the mental health system, the family who hired these criminal lawyers to cash in on it, and it's the lawyers themselves, the ADA, who kept getting this man out of jail over 40 times. He's been in prison for harassment and assault over and over. So on and so on. That particular day, nobody knew. But the fact of the matter is that's his MO. He's a criminal with mental health issues. And that's who failed him. The lawyers, the court system, the mental health system, basically our government, which is failing at every turn they're actually doing. This man, Jordan Neely, should not have been free to be on the roads or the subways. And the other man that was involved in this, the soldier, the Marine, was doing what he was trained to do. And the guy was threatening people's lives. And ultimately, he faced the consequences of his actions. And that's it, folks. That's it. Let's just simplify the complex. No reason to read into all this glamorant, fabricated stories of racism, reminiscent of George Floyd. There's no reason for it, people. This was a mentally challenged person who has a criminal record that was failed by the system that's supposed to protect we the people and protect him against himself of harm. And the system failed him, failed me, you, and failed the Marine that ultimately had to make a decision where he felt threatened to save the lives of other people. And unfortunately, we're going to see a lot more of this happening as we keep being bamboozled, hoodwinked by our government. And while the law enforcement keeps being handcuffed, the doctors, the mental health issue people are handcuffed and cannot do their job properly, not for a paycheck or for the specific narrative, but properly diagnose these people and keep them, I don't want to say incarcerated, but keep them under control until they're capable of being a productive person in society. We're going to see what happened on May 1st, 2023, multiplied by 10. The system has failed. The system has failed every person, every man, woman, and child that lives in this country. They failed us. And it's we the people. It's inevitable that we have no choice but to take care of ourselves. We see it time and time again where nobody's intervening when women are being raped, harassed, groped, children being kidnapped, people being beaten, assaulted. They sit back because when you intervene, you become the criminal. And that's not the way it's supposed to be. We have God-given rights to protect ourselves from both foreign and domestic enemies. We had God-given rights to protect the innocent, the helpless, and the needy. But unfortunately, in this society that we're living in, this anti-Christ civilization, this anti-Christ spirit that is plaguing our nation, we're seeing the buffoonery being unfold before us. And it is what it is. It's going to continue to repeat itself. It's going to get worse and worse. More and more cases like this is going to come forth. And we, the people, have got to stand up and do what's right. And if you happen to be the person to defend and protect the weak that can't defend themselves, if we're ever called to do jury duty, we got to do the right thing and acquit. Because government is failing us at every avenue and every turn. So that's my little rant. I've been on for 13 minutes. It's my little rant to give you guys a heads up. My little 2 cents. Like I said, I'm Tim Davis, a.k.a. Professor X, just one man, one opinion, trying to free one American enslaved mind at a time and getting out of the matrix. And with that being said, I hope you enjoyed this little show. Please hit like, hit subscribe, notification bells for future shows like this. And I'm going to put a show that I did already. I'm going to publish it later on tonight on Who is the Antichrist. Like I said, it's been a couple of weeks since I've done a show due to time, work, and stuff like that. And I can't produce 3-4 shows a week or 3-4 shows a day. I just can't do it at this particular time. I got to work. I got a family I got to provide for, and I got to do other things. I mean, there's millions of things we could talk about. We could discuss. I just had to throw this one out there because this is the hot topic at the particular time. It's a tragedy. Our government failed both Daniel Penny, former Marine, and our government also failed Jordan Neely. And maybe I'll do another little show after I do the show about who the Antichrist is. I'll do a show on my home state of New Yorkistan, how Governor Adams, not governor, I'm sorry, I misspoke. Mayor Adams who has sent over 350 illegal immigrants to my home county, which is called Rockland County, New York. Set them up in Orangeburg, New York. We'll talk about that too. But in the meantime, this is my short little rant on a tragedy in New York City subways. So again, please, if you like the show, you want to see more shows like this, hit like, subscribe, comment, leave a comment, notification bell. Let's get this going. I will have some normal hours work-wise, so I should be able to post a few more videos, more consistent with current events and stuff like that. But all I can say is this to my fellow Americans: please be safe, be safe out there, be aware, be alert. And to my fellow New Yorkistanians, who is under 100% tyrannical Marxism in this state of New Yorkistan, we are not the evil ones. We are not the criminals. Keep your eyes on the ball. Keep your head on the swivel. Protect one another, because our government has failed us, both federally and state-wise. So I'm going to sign out. I'm Tim Davis, a.k.a. Professor X from the Unchained Patriot, saying God bless you, and God bless America. I'll see you guys later. Check out my show later on tonight on Who is the Antichrist. Thank you, and God bless. Peace out.